congrats on the movie. I saw it last night, and it was a hilarious ride, really intense ride. What was your favorite memory from filming for each of you?
I think getting to do the classic running out of the sea scared scene, you know, being drenched. Well, I wasn't actually for that drenched. I drenched myself, just sort of running in fully clothed and getting ready, whatever. I love that. I love being on that island. It was beautiful. It was remote. There was nothing man-made except the stuff we brought and took away with us. So it felt like being truly lost, shipwrecked.
For me, I think the sailboat sailing in the Mediterranean,
It was beautiful.
in Malta, that was really fun. And spending the summer with all the cast was insanely cool.
Yeah, how long was the shoot?
It was like 4 months.
4.5 months, maybe?
Yeah.
And were you on location for much of that time?
Nearly all of it.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of work in the studio in London, but, you know, Thailand, Malta, London, New York, with 4 countries, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did New York. Too.
And so, Rupert, for you, Martin is kind of by default the villain in this, although he's not necessarily the mustache-twirling villain that some might be used to for these movies.
Yeah.
But he occasionally has these kind of altruistic moments, like when he's pitching the mission to Zora.
Yeah.
How genuine do you think those moments were? Was he really altruistic in any way, or is it all just...
I think it's really complicated for those guys who work in big pharmaceutical companies, because they are not charities, you know. And I think one of the arguments of the film that Jonathan's character makes rather beautifully is, you know, should stuff only be for those who can afford it? If we're talking about trying to save lives, shouldn't that be for everyone? And I don't know how much of that Martin believes, has told himself, used to believe, but has forgotten. I think that those kind of conversations are really interesting.
Did you know when you signed on for the role that his arc would be such as it is in the movie?
No, I read the script completely cold. I didn't know anything about it. So I went on the journey you go on when you watch the film, which is I couldn't put the script down. It's so exciting.
Where do you think Martin falls in like the pantheon of evil Jurassic villains across the franchise?
That's not for me to say. I mean, he's the only one I've ever done, but you tell me.
Feels like medium evil. I
Medium
feel like
evil?
Not quite as evil as the most evil, maybe.
Okay, who's
Yeah.
the most evil one, you think?
That's a good question. I'd have to think about that a little more.
Okay.
But Manuel, I also have to ask about the raft scene, which you touched on a little. Well, I touched on in the other interview with the kids, and they all said that it was amazing and intense. Did you know going into it that it was such a hyped scene, that it was from the book and fans were
Yes,
really
yes,
looking forward
definitely.
to it?
I knew that. We were very exciting, and everyone was so excited about shooting that. I didn't know it was gonna be so intense to shoot. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, just. And it was intense because we shot it in. First of all, separated. Like we shot some in Thailand, and then 2 months after we finished it in London, in a fake river where they train for the rafting, you know, for the whatever. And it was intense. It was like a week of just freezing our asses off and being, you know, dragged by the river, but it was so fun, and I think it ended up so well. I mean, that scene is just stressful.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
really
gonna.
intense one. So
Yeah.
I think fans that are looking forward for that scene are gonna be really, really happy.
Yeah, I think the final result, it'll probably go down in like the iconic
Yeah.
scenes from the franchise.
Yeah.
Especially because it's a T-Rex, which is like the
Exactly,
dinosaur
yeah.
for the franchise,
Yeah.
which is really exciting.
Yeah.
You touched on this a little bit, the physicality. Both of your roles require a lot of physicality. What was it like filming those intense scenes? Obviously you have stunt doubles, but a lot of it is you guys doing actual intense things.
Very physical, you know, in a great way. It's when it's, you know, it's 100 degrees and you're being sprayed with water cannons and the boat's on a gimbal so it can move as if it's been hit by something very, very powerful. So it would really throw you around and throw you into side rails. And I loved how much of it they let us do because it really felt like we had the experiences of the characters. It wasn't kind of like faked. I mean, obviously it is, but, you know.
No, same. I mean, I love it, but it was very physical. I mean, you know, it's hard, especially for the stunt guys. I mean, they I don't know how these guys do it, and because you doing the easy part is really hard. You get hurt, and I got my ankle was, I twisted my ankle, my back was hurt. I can't imagine these guys how they jump out of things and.
Oh, you actually hurt yourself during.
I
during
did.
Which scene do you remember?
I did it in training.
Okay.
I was training on the raft, and I slipped, and my ankle because it was muddy but yeah, it was really physical and challenging because of the conditions as well, so hot and humid, and so that makes it good for the acting, because it gives you all the elements that you need and it helps you motivation, but yeah, it's hard.
And before signing on to this, what was each of your familiarity with the franchise? Were you both like fans beforehand, had seen all the movies?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a real event, I feel like. It's like, for me, there are certain franchises where when there's a new installment, I get that kid-like, genuine wonderment, excitement feeling, and the date gets closer and you figure out your tickets and who you're going to go with, and it's the kind of movie that reminds you why movie theaters are so magical. Yeah. You're going to sit with a bunch of complete strangers in the dark, eating this food that you only eat there, and the sound is going to be in every part of it, and the screen is going to be bigger than anything you've ever seen, and this is just the perfect movie for that.
Do each of you have a favorite franchise character from the whole series, besides your own, of course?
Ian Malcolm, I would say, for me. Jeff Goldblum is iconic.
I had a crush on Laura Stern.
Yeah?
Oh my goodness. So I go with her, yeah.
Okay, there you go. You have it. You heard it here first.
Absolutely. And obviously we won't run this before the movie's out, but to touch on a little bit of spoiler territory, Martin meets a very unfortunate end. What was it like filming that moment? I think your head gets chomped off.
Yeah, it does, which is not something you experience every day. It was. It felt like, okay, this is bucket list territory. To get chomped by a T-Rex like you're a hot dog in Central Park. This is kind of how I felt. It's, what an honor. What a way to go. And Johnny Bailey, who's very obsessed with, apparently I made it some sort of face or other, which just cracks him up every time he sees it or thinks about it, apparently. And, yeah.
Which is the face?
Well, I'm not going to do it. I can't really remember, but it's like a sort of bulgy, being squished face,
I love it.
Like as if...
I'm going to pay attention.
Yeah, like if you have a balloon and you do that and the top, Yeah.
I think we're probably going to see it get memed, so you'll see it floating around on social media.
Okay, yeah. Maybe other folks can, There must be a Halloween costume you could build, which is like somehow you're the dinosaur and the head going in, and the rest like that. Idea. You know how when you wear the bird and your feet come out the bottom or whatever it is?
Universal has to get on that.
That would be great, right?
Yeah, I would be into that. Well, thank you both so much for your time,
Thank you.
Congrats again on the film.
Thank you.